Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Star Spinner Tarot, I'm going to say. Yep, by Trungles. There's a website for this, chroniclebooks.com, if you want to find out more information, or I think there's probably other decks on there if you're really a card enthusiast. Supportive oracles are the Magical Spell Cards by Lucy Cavendish, illustrated by Jesse Reisch. Reisch is R-E-I-S-C-H. I did find that this one's a deck from 2002, and there's no website, but if you look it up, you'll probably find it. Now that I'm realizing it's like almost 20 years old, so it is what that is. Okay. You get a lot of, like, what's going on over here? And what I'm saying, there's a lot of face-down cards in the environment, and it makes me wonder, like, what are we dealing with? This might be a really good read for Capricorn. Let's get there first. But you got a lot of really positive cards coming in here, so... And there's an interesting one starting this off. Now... What's going on? Like, what is happening to start here? Is it you or it's them? Okay, so it's the other side. This is what's starting it. Harvest is coming in with, what is that? Justice? Why does this feel so weird to me? Are they getting what they deserve, or is it like something is working out the way it's supposed to? That's what I'm wondering. Like, which side of justice are we on here? Like, they're getting their just desserts, or they're getting the reward they deserve? Like, which side of justice are we here? And I'm getting harvest is like something's coming due, something needs to be done, whatever was planned on before, whatever effort this person had put in, they're seeing the outcome of that. So if they did all their due diligence, they're getting out of it what they should. If they put extra effort into it, I do feel like that's benefiting them out of the situation. Because I'm getting a weird energy here. It doesn't feel like I'm totally at peace or happy with it. And when I connect to your side, and I think it's because I'm connecting to the Capricorn energy, I'm getting along with whoever's going on here. Because you got harmony right here, right? But you got the Queen of Swords here. But I'm getting this kind of like, I'm just not going to say it energy. I'm just not going to say it. Like, obviously it is what it is. It's already done. I've said things before. I've told people before. I'm getting this energy on your side. Like, I've told people before. I'm not going to say it again. I'm just going to get along. Because I've already said it. They already know. They're getting out of it what was going to happen. I feel like you're seeing that too. Like, yeah, they're getting out of it what was going to happen. That was going to happen. You do care, though, as well. You got the Empress here, which don't get caught up in the gender of these cards. It's just basically saying, like, I'm not going to say anything because it's like, why? But also, like, all right, but I do care, so let me keep an eye out. If I can kind of, like, help get this in a better way, if I can help with this, I will help. I almost have that energy, too, kind of like, yeah, I mean, if I can help, I will help. I mean, obviously, they know what they did, and they're paying the price for that. Is there a paying of a price? Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a paying of a price here. And I get, like, things are going pretty quickly. Things do seem to be happening very fast. At least in your opinion, I would say they're going very fast. Other people might not think so, but you're like, no, that's pretty quick. Things are changing pretty quick. Pretty quack? Pretty quack. Pretty fast. Pretty quack. I'm seeing a guy, and I'm seeing, like, some type of medical connection. And, like, yeah, he's good looking, but he's a quack. And I'm getting that. I don't know where to go with that. If it hits for somebody, great. I don't know. I'm curious if I'm going to get a comment about that. Pretty quack. Okay. I don't know what to say about that. Passion comes in. Things change really quickly. All right, so you're kind of more standing at the ready. Kind of like, they need to fix their own problem. If they ask for my help, yeah, I'll probably help them. But you're just kind of more standing at the ready. Like, you're prepared. Like, I'm keeping things loose. I'm keeping things ready. If they need some help, I'm ready to do that. But they have to ask. They're going to have to ask. I'm not just going to insert myself into this situation. Cool? Cool. All right, now here's, we have, 5 face-down cards, I think. Maybe more. They are health and imagination on their side. And I feel like until this is already done, you're not going to see much of it until after it's happened. So you got health and imagination. Fortitude reversed, which is strength. That's reversed, huh? Well, alright. The Hanged Man with the Queen of Cups. Okay. You might have to figure this out, is what I'm getting a little bit. Only because it's kind of like, sooner or later it's going to hold you back or cause you some delay, and that's not acceptable. So I feel like that's one of the reasons why you're going to want to figure this out. Kind of like, if the longer it goes, like at some point it's going to start holding your situation up, and we're not here for that. Like, no, you have things to do. You have a plan. You're going through what you're going through. You don't need people getting in your way. So this might be the whole heads up on this. Because things are, whatever's going on quickly here, they're getting their just desserts as more kind of, it's kind of half and half. There's a bit of a reward, there's a bit of a detriment. Like, the justice is there. Kind of like what you deserve, you're getting on both sides of that coin. Whoever this person is, it's the other person, by the way. It's the other side. Health is kind of halfway there. Imagination is kind of like, you know, it goes two ways, again. Imagination is going like fearing the worst, but also not dealing with something that I really need to deal with at the same time. It's kind of like I'm kind of fearing the worst and then I'm almost avoiding it. And then being hopeful a little bit. I feel like imagination isn't going the best. Avoidance, I'm getting like doing things to avoid a situation, but also kind of fearing the worst. That's where I feel imagination is going. It's like escapism, but it's not good in this situation. And just really fearing the situation. It's not all bad, but whoever's dealing with this is kind of like not having the easiest time with it. This fortitude reversed is kind of like, I think it's unhinging them. For whatever reason at this point it is feeling like it's unhinging them. They're not handling it all that well. This is something where at this point it's just holding them back. I do feel like it's going to get more complicated later on, and it's going to bleed over onto you somehow. So that's why I think this reading is trying to like give you a heads up before this becomes an issue for you later. Start looking into it so you can figure it out and you can move through it or move around it or deal with it, whatever you need to do, because this holding you up is not okay. That's just not okay. Because what this is heading for, even though it seems to be off to the side, it's kind of quiet. I don't see like you going into it at first and trying to figure out what's going on, but I'm getting it's like it's hitting a brick wall. The Queen of Cups is it's a very interesting card. I feel like this with all the cards almost. The general meaning is very positive, yes. The general meaning, but that's not what I'm getting. When it's matching up with the Hanged Man, I'm getting like somebody's kind of like really not talking about what's going on here. They're trying to handle it all themselves. There's a lot of energy that's just not at peace, and I feel like there's a lot of secretive energy. When I get the Queen of Cups, a lot of times I think of secrets, trying to work out what I'm supposed to do. They do have the ability to make things better. They just may need some structure to help make that happen. I'm also getting that with the Queen of Cups. Like, this person is strong enough to do this, to fix this, to handle this. But with fortitude reversed, it's them not believing it. They're just not believing it. So they need some help getting structure. They need some help kind of getting themselves up and get moving. Now, at some point you're going to see, this is where the cards get good. All these face down cards are what's going on for whoever else this is. They're keeping it private, secret. They don't want you to know. And part of it might be because you probably warned them and they didn't heed that warning. So, I mean, that is what it is. But still, I feel like they're saying, to make this easier on you especially going forward, and this person, I mean, you care. But this is also for you, not just for them. You got the Hierophant card, which is an earth card. Sometimes talks about Taurus energy. The reason I'm saying that, I mean, you're Capricorn, obviously, but it's kind of like earth taking the lead. You kind of like, all right. I feel like at first you're going to be like, well, I feel like this is going to take you a minute to get in that position to be like, all right. Because you have to decide if you're going to do that. Like, nobody's going to push you into anything. If you decide you're going to do that, then things get better. But nobody's going to push you into this. You're not going to allow that. But it's kind of like, with the Hierophant on your side, it's like you saying, all right, let me get control of this, because at some point it's just going to hold you back or cause some type of bottleneck or some type of roadblock here that you're not going to, no. You have things you have to get done. You have things you want to do. You have a schedule usually. Usually Capricorns have a schedule. And when you push a Capricorn off their schedule, they do not like that. And it's kind of like when you see this coming, like I could just let it keep going the way it's going, and just like when I hit the roadblock, just deal with it, which is not usually Capricorn either. When you know there's a roadblock or something coming up, you're like, all right, I'm not just going to drive up to this roadblock and sit there for 3 hours. That's why. How do I get around this roadblock? How do we remove that roadblock? What else can we do with it? And I feel like that's what they're saying. You stepping up and saying, all right, I'm not going to just deal with this just because this other person can't. I'm not just going to allow this to happen just because this other person can't handle this. Even though technically they can. They just don't believe in themselves at this point for whatever reason. So I feel like you have to kind of step in, start the conversation going. What's going on? How is this happening? How are you doing with that? How did that turn out? Because I feel like it's just starting with a conversation. What's going on? How's that going through? How are you handling this? What went with this? What went with that? Tell me what's going on here. And at first you don't really like this idea. I feel at first you really don't like this idea. Like you're like, I don't really want to get involved in this like this, but again, the roadblock thing, right? You got beauty here, and it's kind of like, I don't really want to get involved with this, but I don't want it getting in my way either. So I don't really want to get involved, but I don't want it in my way. All right, fine. So you're just starting it with a conversation, and you're finding out some ins and outs, and I feel like there's a couple of times you're like raising your eyebrows, like, what's going on with that? You just let that sit there? You didn't move that? You didn't handle that? And I feel like that's what you're kind of looking at this person, like you didn't do anything with that. Like, the milk went on the floor, you just left it there. And went to work. And you just left that milk on the floor. Oh, okay. Well, when did you clean it up? You didn't. Oh. Okay. I'm getting this with the beauty card. Like, you're hearing stuff and you're like, what the hell? Like, what? It's kind of like, well, you know what would really help the smell in that kitchen? Cleaning up that milk. Yeah, I'd say clean up that milk. Yeah, start with that. Just start with, go ahead, go start with that. And I feel like this is how this is starting. You're like, you're just kind of pointing out to you especially, like literally the obvious, like go clean up that milk. It'll start things in the right direction. And I feel like you're also thinking to yourself, oh boy, well if they left that there, what else? Like, what else? I don't know where that's going. That's like, I feel like this is how you're hearing it. Like, you did what? You did what? And you didn't do anything? Okay. And I feel like that's how you're feeling about this. Like, okay, this person needs this. Ironically, it really, to you it's like painfully obvious. It's just how it's coming through. So no offense to anybody if somebody's hearing the other side and they don't like it. I'm sorry. This is just how it's coming through. Capricorn is not going to like to hear it. Hear the somebody didn't do what they were supposed to do, and you're gonna to the Capricorn person. I just feel like it's going to be so obvious what should have happened, and it's going to inspire the other side. They might, just to be fair, life might have just did like a whirlwind in their brain, and they just might have just kind of did escapism again. Instead of cleaning up the milk, they just like, I have to get out of the house. I can't stand it. I just can't be here anymore. Isis inspiration with creativity and the world card. You're helping this move forward. I feel like you literally, I don't think you're going to have to do this stuff. You may decide to help. I mean, that's subjective. You decide what you're going to do, right? But I feel like a lot of this is you going, okay, tell me what else is going on. Well, let's do that next. Or maybe not let's do that. Maybe you go do that next. Like, you might tell them to go do that next, or you might help them do whatever next. And I feel like you're going to put it in order. And then I feel like you're going to be like, what's going on with this one? Like, come on. The world is going into the next phase with the creativity. I feel like we got to find out something. Something's off with this person. I don't know what. And I know it's a general read, but like I feel like something is seriously off here. Like, something is off. I could give you ideas, but I don't want to like start any type of problems. Something is off. Like, if it's the substance doing it, if there's some type of something else going on, if somebody's doing something to them. I'm getting 3 different things. Substance abuse, which can go any way you want it to go. Some type of like literal emotional breakdown where there's psychiatry should be added in there. Or there might be some type of abuse from a third party that's really upsetting this person and throwing them off their game. There could be like, that's the 3 different ways I'm seeing it. It's general read, so something is wrong here. Because with your guidance, that person gets their strength and starts moving and gets things taken care of. They get themselves back online and it gets back in order. But there's still something wrong here. I feel like it's one of those 3 things. It's a general read, take it with a grain of salt, But if whatever that problem is, whatever it is, if it continues, this is not solved. This is basically you're helping this person stay on life support. We have to deal with the actual issue if we want this to correct and this person to really get that's how they would get their strength back, because currently it's not there. And it's one of those 3 for, like, if this is really hitting, it's a general read, I know, but that has to be fixed. And if they get that fixed, their strength will return. If they don't, it's not. And it's basically you helping this person move forward. I am getting that you will figure out what it is. I don't think it's going to take a lot of investigation. You're just going to figure it out. And I think they're giving you a heads up about that. Like, you're going to figure out what it is. The Sun card comes in with the energy, because once you figure out where the problem is stemming from, like, it looks on the outside, on paper, it looks like, well, this person just is like abandoning their responsibilities. It's not just that. There's something else it's stemming from something else. Once that's addressed and handled, not just addressed, but handled, then things will go back to the way they should be. Sun card, energy card, things will go great. And I think this person will see you as somebody who they can, rely on to tell them the truth. Because Capricorn doesn't really, like, something needs to be said. It may take you a minute to decide how you're going to say it, but if it needs to be said, you'll be like, well, somebody needs to say it. So, bam, there you go. I think that, you can tell me, obviously, in the comments, I think that's Capricorn, though. Like, I don't really think of you guys as just, like, randomly saying things. I do think, like, if you say something and something comes off a little rough, it's because you feel like it needs to. And, like, people aren't listening, people need to pay attention, so, like, what do I need to do for you to hear me? They're not just frivolous, in my opinion. Capricorns aren't just frivolous. They have something to say, they're going to say it with purpose, they're going to say it to be heard, and if you don't hear a Capricorn, they're going to be like, well, all right, we have to turn up the heat? Fine, I can do that. And you make that point a little bit more strong, as much as you feel necessary. But that's this person. This person thrives with you, I think, because of that. Because whatever this situation is, it needs to be called out. And I think that's the whole thing. And this person does matter to you. And you're that person that's going to be like, all right, I'm going to tell you what you're not doing right, and I'm going to also help you fix that. But when I find out why it's not happening, and when I find out where it's stemming from, I'm going to make that a point. And if you don't hear me, I'm going to say it stronger so you will hear me. And they know this. Whoever this person is, they know this. So if they need to hear it, then they need to hear it. That's how this is ending. But it is ending with good cards. The Sun card and the Energy card. This is gonna have a positive effect. It's not like you just, talking yourself blue in the face for no reason. This is gonna make a difference. All right, I'm gonna shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4 astral@gmail.com. Thank you.